You mentioned about experience. What was that for you? I guess, what was like that big culture shock or wake up call that you realized that either you were missing out or things were different around the world that you wouldn't have otherwise just done staying in Texas?
Man, that's a good question. Again, man, I really think that if I hadn't experienced different cultures, different mindsets around the world, right? If I'm born and raised in Mississippi, I always make the joke, I grew up poor. I wish I could afford the OR so I could just be poor. Oh, I grew up in a mobile wide, 2-bedroom mobile wide. And, we had places in the floor where there was no floor. And you're right. I didn't sleep on a bed. I slept on the floor because the vent in the mobile wide or mobile home was in the floor. So when it's hot outside, you want to sleep right there on that vent. When it's cold outside, you want to sleep right there on the vent because that's where all the better temperature is, right? So I grew up poor. And when you're growing up in my area, when you looked all around you, that's all you saw. So it didn't seem like you grew up in poverty. It just seemed like life. Then I go experience the world. When I was in Italy, growing up near the beach, going and seeing the Leaning Tower of Pisa and the Sistine Chapel, right? And just thinking like, gosh, man, how long has this building been here, right? It looks better than my neighborhood and it's been over 1,000 years, right? And so just traveling and going to places like Texas, right? I remember when I moved to Texas, it was a culture shock. Just moving from Mississippi to Texas was a culture shock.
Yeah.
But again, going into different countries and seeing there was a statistic that says in America, if you're a McDonald's worker and you're making $30,000, you're top 1% in the world as far as income is concerned. So when you look at other places and you're like, wow, I thought we had it bad. No, these kids ain't got no shoes, right? My wife was recent trip in China, and in the main cities, it's like America. Well, when you go out in the country, man, they would tell you don't eat off. Like if you drop something on the table, don't pick it up and eat it, because people are peeing and pooping, and they don't have sanitation, criteria for their life.
Yeah,
I guess where you go. Kids walk around with no Pampers on, and they're just literally just walking in like an animal, just pooping and peeing right there as they're walking. And it culture shock. Like we think we have it bad, but we don't have a phone for a couple of hours. Or right now with Houston, there's no power, and but there's a lot of people growing up like that in the world right now on a normal basis. So we don't realize that that's a first world problem. Right. So,
for you and your kids, man, so for personal experience, my dad served in the Navy, and he'd say, what's funny is because if he was right here, we would say the exact same things about experience and structure in your life, and we'll get to structure later. But for you personally, was there ever a time where your kids didn't want to listen to you as far as like, yeah, you know what, Dad, and in your mind, you're thinking, I don't think these kids realize how good they have it sometimes.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
What were some experiences like that?
Man, my oldest, so again, growing up how I grew up, I never wanted that for my kids. I made a pact when I was like 13 years old that I would never be broke because I know what it feels like. And so when I was when I had my first son, we had 3 vehicles, a nice house, right? And at this time when I had my first son, I'm in real estate, right? Just started real estate. He doesn't know what struggle looks like, right? And there got to a point in time in his life where he felt like, maybe I don't need to listen to you because I look at all these other kids and I'm better than them, and I don't know why you're so hard on me because I'm better than all of them and you're hard on me and I don't get it. And so he just started rebelling. I'm like, dude, you don't understand why I'm hard on you. And the reason that you're better than everybody else is because I was hard on you. Because I gave you structure, because I gave you, discipline. Because a lot of these kids that are growing up in this day and age, they don't have that, right? Both parents are, working just to get by. And so there's no parents in the home. And so these kids are being raised just off the technology, right? And me, I've been able to support where my wife has been a stay-at-home mom since I've been with her. And so they don't even understand some of the great things they have going for them, to where it does make them feel like they're a little bit privileged. They don't understand why you're so hard, why you're pushing them. They think, well, I'm better than them. Yeah, but Levi, you're only better than them if you compare it to those guys. But what about people who are ahead of you? What do you think they say about you? Yeah, right? So we never really know until you get enough experience. So, you know, him growing up, you got to get outside of your school. Now he's 18. He's experiencing the world. And the other day, my other son, my second oldest son, we get into this big argument. And Levi's standing over there laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing about it? And he said, well, I remember 2 years ago, we're sitting there doing this same thing with me. And you told me that, son, you don't get it today, but you will. And now I'm looking back at it, and I understand that.
Yeah.
So it's funny to watch.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, click right here to see more. And if you want to see the full episode, click right here to see the full episode.
But in that house, there was some fountain. Torn down, torn down, torn down.